Welcome to the today's session, and today we are going to discuss about the topic temperature measurement. And let me introduce myself. I am Arvind Guru, Assistant Professor, Department of Electronics and Instrumentation Engineering, M. Kumarasamy, College of Engineering, Karur. Today, let's go to the today's session, and today we are going to discuss about the temperature measurement and what is the temperature is. The contents we are going to discuss is what is the temperature and what are the methods of temperature measurements available, and the methods which are available are for the temperature measurement is expansion thermometer. The expansion thermometer itself, the name itself, it is describing that it is going to expand or contract based on the temperature. Based on the contraction or the expansion, we are going to measure the temperature. And the types of the expansion thermometer are bimetallic thermometer and a liquid in gas thermometer and liquid in metal thermometer and the gas thermometer. In the bimetallic thermometer will comes under the expansion of solids. Based on the expansion of the solids, it will measure the temperature. And then coming to the second point, which is the liquid in glass thermometer. This will comes under the liquid expansion type thermometer. And coming to the third point, which is the liquid in metal thermometer, which also comes under the expansion of liquids. And coming to the fourth, which is the gas thermometer, which will deals with the gas. And other method of temperature measurement is filled system thermometer. Here the filled system means we are going to fill the liquids or some materials in the bulb, which will be the bulb will be placed in the temperature source, and based on the increase or decrease of the temperature, the expansion will be happening inside the bulb, and based on that the deviation will be happening in the measuring scale, the temperature measuring scale. Based on that the temperature will be measured. These are the contents we are going to discuss in the today's class. And then the first we will see about, before going to the methods of the temperature measurement, first we have to know about what is the temperature is. The temperature is nothing but it is a measure of the total amount of energy in an object. And otherwise it is also termed as the temperature is a measure of the total amount of thermal energy in an object. And then how much the heat is getting, heat is something which gives off from an object is also known as the temperature. And then the moving of the energy, that is the movement of the energy from the high medium to the low medium, this is also termed as an thermal energy, that is the temperature. I will show you a graphical instruction regarding this temperature, how it is going to transfer from the heat from one region to the other region, or one object to the other object. Here I will show you a regarding this 50 degrees Celsius, it is an hot object, and 20 degrees Celsius is a cold object, that is it is lesser temperature than the 50 degrees Celsius. Here the heat or the temperature will be transferred from the 50 degrees Celsius to the 20 degrees Celsius, because the heat will be transferred from high temperature region to the low temperature region. From the higher region to the lower region only the transfer will be happening. Here the 50 degrees Celsius is the hotter region. From here the energy will be transferred to the heat. The heat will be transferred to the 20 degrees Celsius. Then this is the type of heat transfer which is conducted by the conduction. Conduction means if you are the heat is in an hotter region, we are going to keep our hands, means we can, by the conduction, that is the radiation nearby the temperature source will absorb the temperature, that is the heat will be transferred from hotter region to the colder region. Then this is also transfer of the heat by conduction and the radiation. Here we can take the tungsten bulb here. For example, we will take the tungsten bulb here. Here the tungsten bulb, it will be glowing for an hour. It will be the radiation will be there, from heat radiation will be there, and it will be radiating the heat from the hotter region to the colder region, that is the temperature, high temperature region to the low temperature region. The heat will be transferring like this only. The energy will be transferred from one higher region to the lower region. Same as the pressure also. In the pressure also, the pressure will be transferred from the pressure energy will be transferred from the higher pressure region to the lower pressure region. Likewise, here in the temperature also, it will be transferring from higher region temperature source to the lower temperature source. Then what is the temperature is? The temperatures are always moving from one hot region to the lower region. And here when you heat a water, then the water molecules will be move faster from the hotter region to the lower region. When the molecules which is moves faster, the substance also will be get hotter. While you are heating the liquid, the molecules will be moving faster, so as the colliding will be happening between the molecules, so the temperature will be get raised soon. If the molecules are moving slowly, means the collision will be happening only lesser, so that the temperature will be rising slowly. But in case of the when we are heating the substance, the molecules will be colliding each other very fastly, so that the temperature will be raised quickly. And when the temperature will be goes off when you are heat up the substance. The next point we will the measures the temperature is nothing but it is the measures of the hotness or coldness of an object, and it can be the temperature measurement can be determined by using the thermometer, which will contains a liquid that will expands with the heat and contracts with the cooling. That when the heat is higher, when the temperature is getting increasing, the liquid inside the thermometer also will be get expanded, so that it will rise and it will show the what is the temperature in which is mentioned in the scale in the thermometer. And it is also contracts when the temperature is decreasing. The contraction also will be happening inside the thermometer, so that the scale will be reducing. The mercury which is filled inside the thermometer will contracts, and the scale will show the what is the temperature is at the present. Then what we will discuss about the temperature scales which are available in the market, and the temperature scales which are available are Fahrenheit, Celsius and the Kelvin. Mainly we will focus on the Celsius for the body temperature measurement and other domestic purposes. For the industrial purposes, they will be going with the Fahrenheit or the Kelvin. Here I will show you a graphical representation of the water boiling, how that scale is getting increased. Here when the temperature is getting increased, the temperature also, the scale also will be getting raised by using the expansion of the liquids which is inside the thermometer. Based on the expansion, we can measure what is the temperature inside the room or an body temperature. Here, if the water is getting boiled, the freezing point, that is the boiling point of the water is 100 degrees Celsius. Same as the Fahrenheit, if we are going with the Fahrenheit, for equivalent to the 100 degrees Celsius, it is 212 degree Fahrenheit. The boiling point is 100 degrees Celsius. In case of the Fahrenheit we are measuring means it is 212 degree Fahrenheit. And then the Kelvin, if we are going with the Kelvin, it is the 373 Kelvin for equivalent to the 100 degrees Celsius. Initially the water freezing point is 0 degree Celsius, and here the equivalent of the 0 degree Celsius is in case of the Fahrenheit it is 32 degree Fahrenheit. In case of the Kelvin, for 0 degree Celsius and the 32 degree Fahrenheit, that is 273 Kelvin. If you are going with the 100, it is also getting raised with the 100, so the value is 373 Kelvin. Then we will see about what are the units which are used in the temperature measurement. That is, first one is the degree centigrade or the degree Celsius, and then the degree Fahrenheit. After that the Kelvin, as we have discussed earlier, and then the new one is the Rankine cycle that is used for the temperature measurement. Then we will see about the relationship. What is the relationship between the different units? That is the unit conversion of the temperature we will discuss. From for calculating a degree Celsius, if we are going to convert from the Fahrenheit to degree Celsius means nothing but the formula is degree Celsius is equal to degree Fahrenheit minus 32 divided by 1.8. This is the formula for the conversion of Fahrenheit to Celsius. And next one, for conversion of the Celsius to Fahrenheit is degree Fahrenheit is equal to 1.8 into degree Celsius. What is the degree Celsius which is available in plus 32? This is the formula for conversion of Fahrenheit, that is Celsius to Fahrenheit. Then comes to the Kelvin. Here we are going to convert the degree Celsius to the Kelvin. The formula is K is equal to, that is the Kelvin is equal to degree Celsius plus 273.15. This is the formula for the conversion of Celsius to the Kelvin. Coming to the last point, that is the Rankine. In the Rankine, the conversion from the Fahrenheit is nothing but R, that is the Rankine is equal to degree Fahrenheit, that is the present value of the Fahrenheit, that is the degree Fahrenheit plus 459.67, which is the formula for conversion of the Fahrenheit to the Rankine. Then coming to the till now we have discussed about the what is the temperature is and how the heat is transferring from the one region to the another region, and then the what are the temperature units which are available, and what are the conversions formula which are available for conversion from the one unit to the another unit. Till now we have discussed about that. Next we will discuss about the what are the temperature measurement techniques which are available. And now the temperature is defined as the condition of a body of which heat is transferred from one region to the another bodies. That is, we are going to transfer the heat from the one body to the another body, that is the hotter surface to the colder surface. Here the degrees of hotness or the coldness of a body which is measured by a definite scales. Scales means nothing, for everything if we are going to measure is we need is the scale, because the constant one which will be there, based on that only we are going to measure the present values. This is the main theme here. Measurement is the main theme here. For the measurement of the temperature, there are three types of classifications are there for the measurement of temperature. Here is the non-electrical type, electrical type, and the radiation type. there are three types for the measurement of temperature, that is non-electrical type, electrical type and the radiation type. The methods of the temperature is first we will go with the non-electrical type. The non-electrical type means which will deals with the mechanical transmission. Here the types of the non-electrical types are expansion thermometer and the filled system thermometer. These are the two types which will comes under the non-electrical type. Though in the expansion thermometer also there are four types are available, that is bimetallic thermometer, which will comes under the expansion of the solids, as we have discussed earlier. Before the introduction itself, I have briefly explained about this bimetallic thermometer and the expansion of the solids. And second one is the liquid in gas thermometer, which will deals with the expansion of the liquids. Based on the expansion of the liquids only we can measure the temperature. Based on the increase in the temperature, the expansion of the liquids or the solids which will be happening here. And coming to the third point, which is the liquid in metal thermometer, which is also deals with the expansion of liquids only. Coming to the fourth point, which is the gas thermometer. Then the next type is filled system thermometer. In the filled system thermometer, there are a liquid filled thermometer and mercury filled thermometer, and then the vapor pressure filled thermometer. And these are the electrical temperature measurements. There are four types are available in the electrical type thermometers. They are resistance thermometer, that is also known as the resistance temperature detector, that is the also known as RTD. Then thermocouple, second point is the thermocouple and thermistor. And coming to the last, that is the thermopile. Here RTDs are used to measure the medium temperature measurements. For the medium temperature measurements we will be using the RTD, that is the resistance temperature detector or the temperature resistance thermometer. Coming to the second point, that is the thermocouple. Here the thermocouple, that is used for the high temperature measurements. For the high temperature measurements, industries are in the industries they are using the thermocouple. Mostly they will be using the thermocouple. In case of very high temperature measurements, they will be going with the radiation type pyrometers. The radiation type pyrometers are pyrometers, and the radiation pyrometer and the optical pyrometer, that are comes under the non-contact type. Without the contact of the sensor, they are going to by passing the radiation or the optical light source, they are going to measure the temperature by using the pyrometers. In case of the electrical type, they are comes under the contact type. They will be physically contacting with the sensors, will be contacting with the temperature source, and based on that they will be measuring the temperature. And other methods also available which for the measurement of temperature, that is quartz thermometer. They will be using the quartz material for the measurement of the temperature, and solid state temperature measurement, and optical fiber temperature measurement, and then the ultrasonic thermometers for the measurement of the temperature. These are the available devices available in the market for measuring the temperature. First one is the electrical type and non-electrical type, and electrical type and radiation type, and other methods of the temperature measurements. First is the non-electrical type. The filled system and the expansion type are the available, and in the electrical type they are using the RTDs, that is the resistance thermometer or resistance temperature detector. And then the second one is the thermocouple, and then thermopile and the thermistor. Coming to the radiation type, they are using this pyrometers, and the radiation pyrometer and the optical pyrometers are its types. And the other methods also which are available in the market for the measurement of temperature. They are quartz thermometer and solid state temperature measurement and optical fiber temperature measurement and the ultrasonic thermometers. Coming to the expansion methods of the measurement for temperature measuring, that is this comes under the non-electrical type. Here we are not going to use the electrical measurements. Directly we are going to coupling the expansion of the liquids or the expansion of the solids with the pointer, which will be connected to the scale for the measurement of the temperature. Here they are coming to the expansion methods. There are 4 types. Bimetallic thermometer, which will deals with the expansion of solids. Based on the expansion of the solids, the pointer will be moving upwards or the downwards so as to give the what is the temperature is. These are the 4 types we have discussed earlier itself. We will see briefly about these 4 types and what are the working principles and how the construction of this available in the market we will be seeing. We will be discussing now. First type is the bimetallic thermometer, which will deals in the expansion of the solids, which are made up of the bimetallic thermometers are made up of bimetallic strips which are formed by joining 2 different metals which will be having a different expansion coefficients. Now we are going to use the 2 different metals which will be combined to give the expansion or contraction of the metals, which will be based on the temperature, increase of the temperature or decrease of the temperature. Then metals will be different, they will be having a different expansion coefficients. Based on that only the expansion will be happening. Then only we can measure, based on the expansion we will be measuring the temperature. And basically these bimetallic strips is a mechanical elements which can sense a temperature and it can transform it into a mechanical displacement. First it is going to sense a temperature and transform it. Based on the sensing, it will be transforming as a mechanical displacement. Then the mechanical actions which are from the bimetallic strips can be used to activate the switching mechanism for getting an electronic output here. And also it can be attached to the pointer of that based on the expansion it will be attached to the pointer for measuring the temperature. And these are mostly used, which is a method which is the welding process. In the welding process they will be using this type of measurements. And since the 2 metals are employed so as to construct a bimetallic strip, hence they can be, so the name is bimetallic thermometer. And now now we can discuss about the working principle of the bimetallic strips, which is going to used for the measurement of temperature. Here we are using the different metals which will expand at different boiling rates or the temperature rates as they will be warming up. Here the 2 dissimilar metals will behave in a different manner when exposed to temperature variations, which will be owing to different thermal expansions. Then one layer of the metals will expand or contract more than the other layer. That is, we are going to use the 2 metals. In that, one metal will be expands more than the other metal, and one end of the straight bimetallic strip is fixed in a place, and at there as the strip is heated, the other end also will be tends to curve curve away from the side, so that the greater coefficient of linear expansion will be happening here, so as to increase the temperature range in the scale. And the features of the bimetallic strip are the range is it will be measuring from minus 103 degrees Fahrenheit to 1000 degree Fahrenheit. That is, in case of the Celsius, minus 75 degrees Celsius to minus 540 degrees Celsius, we are using the bimetallic strips. Here the advantages of this bimetallic strip is it is a low cost, and it is a easy installation and the maintenance, and it will give the good accuracy, and it will be giving the wide temperature range. Then the disadvantages is, of the bimetallic strip is it will be limited to the local mounting, and only it will be indicating type, and the calibration may change due to the rough handling, so the accuracy is not best in the bimetallic strip. The accuracy we cannot expect in the bimetallic strip due to the mechanical type. And then the second one is the liquid in glass thermometer. Here in the liquid in glass thermometer, a bulb will be acts as a container for the functioning for the liquid to expand or contract in the capacity. In the bulb, we are going to fill the liquid which will be expanding or contracting inside the bulb based on the increase or decrease of the temperature over the temperature source. Then the stem glass tube will be having a capillary type which will be connected to the bulb, and then it will be enlarged at the bottom into a bulb, so that the initial stage of the bulb will be in the bulged structure. After that, the capillary tube, which will be tiny one, which will be connected to the bulb, which is made up of a glass material. And then the temperature scale which is basically imprinted on the stem for the displaying purpose, that is the displaying of the temperature readings. Then point of reference, the calibration point is mostly commonly used in the ice point. We will be, for calibration purpose, they will be going with the ice point only, not in the hotter surface. And then the working liquids, which will generally either mercury or the alcohols, which are used as an liquid materials, which is filled inside the bulb. Then we will discuss about the principle of the glass thermometer. Liquid in glass thermometer principle we will discuss now. Here the principle which is used to measure the temperature is that it is an apparent of the temperature expansion of the liquid. Based on the temperature expansion, the liquid also will be get expanded here. Then the difference between the volumetric reversible thermal expansion of the liquid and its glass container, that will makes it possible to measure the temperature. Then liquid in glass thermometer features. The range of the temperature measurement of the liquid in glass thermometer is minus 200 degrees Celsius to the 600 degrees Celsius. And the advantages of this liquid in glass type thermometer is it is comparatively cheaper than the other one, and it is handier and the convenient to use, and they do not necessitate the proper power supply or the batteries for charging, and they are frequently applied in an areas which are there is no problem of electricity, because it does not need any electric source, so it is an advantages of it, and it will be having a very good repeatability, and calibrations will be remained unaffected. Here the calibration is not needed that much. Then the limitations of this liquid in glass thermometer is, that one is not very accurate one, and it will be having a short temperature range, and it is a weaker one, and it will be subject to some electrical issues. Then coming to the next topic, we will discuss about the liquid in metal thermometer. In the liquid in metal thermometer, which will be filled with the mercury, which will be filled inside the metal steel, and then here the mercury in steel thermometer will works on the exactly on the same principle as the liquid in glass thermometer, and here the glass bulb is replaced by the steel bulb here. In case of the liquid in glass thermometer, they will be having the glass type, but here the name itself is suggesting that liquid in metal thermometer. Here the liquid we are using is the mercury, which will be filled inside the metal bulb. The metal we are using is the stainless steel here. As the mercury in the system is not visible because it is covered by the metallic substance, metallic bulb, so the Bourdon tube is used to measure the change in its volume. If the liquid is getting expanded or contracted, we cannot see directly because it is covered with the steel. So Bourdon tube is connected to those bulb, so that based on the expansion, the Bourdon tube will be having some deviations, so that based on that we can measure the temperature. Now we can see about the working principle of the liquid in metal thermometer. Here, when the temperature is measured, when the rise of the temperature is happening, the mercury in the bulb will be getting expanded more than the bulb, so that some mercury will be driven through the capillary tube, and then it will be reaching the Bourdon tube. As the temperature continues to rise, the increasing amount of mercury will be driven into the Bourdon tube, and it will be causing the Bourdon tube to bend. If the bend is happening inside the Bourdon tube, the other end of the Bourdon tube is fixed one. Then the motion of other end is communicated to the pointer, so as which will moves the calibrated temperature scale, so that based on the movement of this Bourdon tube, the scale will be deviated. So as to it will be connected to the temperature scale. So the pointer is the deviation of the pointers will shows the exact temperature which is given. Then in case the pocket will be prevents the bulb, which will be subjected to this pressure, and also here the bulb will be changed without shutdowning the plant. Here the capillary tube which is used in the mercury in steel thermometer is made up of stainless steel, so the mercury will combine with other metals, so the changes of temperature which will be affecting the capillary, and then the mercury which is contains will be having the temperature thermometer reading. Then here the mercury is used as a liquid, but it has its limitations also. So here the other reasons which are for not using this liquid in metal thermometer is other liquids also used in some places of the mercury. In case of we can use the other liquids also in this liquid in metal thermometer. That's all about the expansion type. In the expansion type, we have discussed about this bimetallic thermometers, liquid in glass thermometers, and the liquid in metal thermometers. Then we will go with the filled system thermometer. This is the non-electrical type. This is also the non-electric type. Here the filled system thermometers. I will show you the diagram regarding the filled system thermometers. Here in the filled system thermometers, here this is the setup of the filled system thermometer. Here nothing but the bulb which is available here, that is made up of bulb that is filled with the liquids, that is the mercury, or some liquids will be filled inside the bulb, and then the bulb will be attached to the capillary tube. The bulb will be attached to the capillary tube. After that, the capillary tube is connected to the Bourdon tube, because we are using in the filled-in system we are using the steel bulb, that is the metal bulb we are using, so that we cannot see the deviation which is happening. So because the glass material means it is transparent one, so we can see the deviation what is happening inside, expansion or the contraction which is happening inside the bulb. But in case of this filled system which is made up of metal, we can measure by using this Bourdon tube, connecting the Bourdon tube with the capillary tube. So only we can measure the temperature by the deviation of the Bourdon tube, which is connected to the pointer, which is placed in the scale for measuring the temperature. Here in the setup, the bulb is filled with the liquid, and if the bulb is subjected to the temperature source, then the expansion of the liquid will be happening, and it will be coming out of the bulb. Because the liquid is getting expanded, it will be coming out of the bulb, and it will be reaching the capillary tube. From the capillary tube, the liquid, if the temperature is keep on rising, means the liquid inside the capillary tube, which will be reaching the Bourdon tube here. Still the temperature is increasing, means the Bourdon tube will be subjected to the deviation here. Then the pointer which is placed in this measuring system, that is the scale, will be connected to the Bourdon tube here, and based on the deviation which is happening in the Bourdon tube, based on that the temperature will be measured in the pointer, that is the scale. It consists of a Bourdon tube. The system will consist of a Bourdon tube, and it will be having a capillary and the temperature bulb. Here it will be sealed with after the fillings with appropriate liquid. The commonly used liquids in this type is mercury, ethyl alcohol, xylene and the toluene. Mainly we will be focusing with the mercury type. Then the bulb which is installed inside the substance will be measured, and the change in temperature in the substance will be causing the filling of the liquids to expand or they contract. Based on the temperature difference, the filling of the liquids will be expands or they contracts. Here I will show you how what is the theme is inside the system. Here the increase of the temperature will be causing the expansion in the liquids. This is only will be happening, and the expansion of the liquids will be forces the Bourdon tube to uncoil. But based on this, the deviation will be happening in the Bourdon tube, and then the measurement also will be happened inside the scale. Based on the deviation, the pointer will be moving. Based on that, temperature will be measured. Then if that temperature is getting decreased, the contraction in the liquid also will be happening. The contraction of the liquid will happening means the temperature scale will be reducing, so that the temperature will be reduced. Then the movement of the Bourdon tube may be used to drive a pointer so as to indicating the temperature. Then the four types which are available in the filled-in system are liquid expansion, gas filled, liquid filled, mercury filled and the vapor filled. These are the 4 types which comes under the filled system thermometers. They are we will discuss about these 4 types now. First one is the liquid filled thermometers. The liquid filled thermometers will works on the principle of liquid expansion with temperature rise. The liquid will be getting expanded inside the bulb based on the temperature rise. The filling liquid is usually an hydrocarbon, which will be an hydrocarbon or the xylene. Because the xylene we are mostly using the hydrocarbon type, because the xylene which is the 6 times more expansion coefficient than the mercury and decreasing the bulb position. Then the next type is the mercury filled thermometer. In the mercury filled thermometers, it is similar to the same as the liquid filled thermometer here, but it will provides the rapid response, accuracy and plenty of power. Here the pressure is as high as 1200 psi 2 and the low as 400 psi G. Then next type is the vapor filled thermometer. In the vapor filled thermometer, here the bulb is partially filled with liquid, and in other types are we are going to filling fully with the liquid. The same liquid will be filled for the entire process. But here in case of the vapor filled thermometer, we will be measuring the filling the liquid with the vapor. Here the bulb is partially, we are going to partially fill with the liquid and partially with the vapor. Then some of the liquids which will vaporizes during these operations. That means the temperature rise, based on the temperature rise, some liquids will be getting vaporized. So to overcome that issues, we will be going with this vapor filled thermometer. Here the liquid inside the boils and vaporizes, which will create a gas inside the system. To overcome these issues, the liquid will be continuous to boil until the pressure which will balances between the system and then the vapor pressure. Here the liquids will stop boiling unless the temperature is getting raised. Similarly, the temperature will be getting dropped. The liquid and the vapor which is available inside the substance will be subjected to some vapor so as to condense, and it will be bringing down the pressure inside the bulb. When the pressure inside the which will equals the vapor pressure, here due to some changes in pressure, the Bourdon tubes will be uncoils or tightens with increase or decrease of the pressure, which will indicating the temperature on a pointer scale. Then next one is the 4th type, that is the last type, which is the gas filled thermometer. Now we discuss about the gas filled thermometer. Here in the gas, before types and all, we have dealt with the liquid, they are filled with the liquids, but here we are going to fill with the gas. The gas will be filled in a container, and if the filled thermal device is consist of a primary elements, which is of a reservoir or a bulb here, and it will be having a flexible capillary tube and a hollow Bourdon tube, and it will be actuates to the signal which is transmitting the device or a local indicating temperature dial. Here the filling fluids, which will be either liquid or a gas, which will expands as a temperature increases. This will causes the Bourdon tube to uncoil and also to indicate the temperature on a calibrated dial. The filling or transmitting medium which is a vapor or a gas, which will be, it will be also another liquid also. Here the liquid filled system, which is mostly commonly used, is the, because it will require a bulb which will be having the smallest volume to permit a smaller instrument to be used. And this is the diagram of the gas filled thermometer. I will show you the diagram. Here the steel bulb which will be filled with the gas here, when it is subjected to the temperature source, then the gas inside the bulb will be getting expanded, and then it will be attached to the capillary tube. The capillary tube is available here. After that, the capillary tube is connected to the Bourdon tube here. Based on the increase of the temperature, the gas inside the pressure will be increased inside the bulb, and the pressure, based on the pressure increase, the gas will be getting expanded, which will subject to the expansion here. Based on the expansion, the capillary tube, through the capillary tube, the gas will be flowing, and it will be subjected to the Bourdon tube here. And based on the subjecting the expansion, the Bourdon tube will be deviated, so that the pointer is connected to the Bourdon tube. The pointer will deviate on the scale, so that to indicate the what is the temperature presently available is. This is the main working principle of this gas filled thermometer. And here we are going to use the working principle is ideal gas law. That is, volume of the gas which will be increases with temperature if the pressure is getting maintained constant. When the temperature is getting increased, the volume of the gas alone is getting increased. The pressure of the gas is kept constant here. In case of, if the pressure is getting increases with temperature, then the volume of the gas has to be maintained as a constant. This is the ideal gas law. Based on this principle only, we are going to we have built the gas filled thermometer. And here the nitrogen is the favorite gas which is used in the gas filled thermometers, and this is used for the nitrogen is used for the medium temperature purpose, measurement purpose. In case of the low temperature measurements, we will be going with the helium. The helium gas is used in the gas filled thermometers for the low temperature measurement purpose. In case of the high temperature measurement purpose or the medium temperature measurements, we will be going with the nitrogen which will be filled in the bulb in the gas filled thermometer. Then the vapor pressure thermometer. In the vapor pressure thermometers, in this system, the bulb will be partially filled with the liquid, and while the capillary tubes and the Bourdon tubes are filled with the vapors. In this system, some of the liquids will be vaporizing during the operations. Here the increase in temperature will be creates a vapor, and the increase in the pressure the vapor is created. Based on that, the increase the pressure will be happening in the capillary tube, and then the coil will be get uncoiled, and the movement in the pointers will be deviated, so that the scale will be measuring the temperature which is currently available. And then the decrease in temperature. In the decrease in temperature, it will be condensing the vapor, so that it will decrease the pressure in the capillary tube, so that it will coils, and the movement will be happening in the pointer in the scale. That's all about the today's class session. Till now we have discussed about the filled system and the expansion type thermometer measurement. Thank you.